got a double review. We didn't get a chance to do either, and there's 2 dogs on the sofa, so they will probably make an appearance. This is Molly that you can see. Dobby's fat. Oh, Dot, you can't. There she is. Hello, Dobby. Dobby. Right, this is going to be a bit distracting, I'm afraid, but it is what it is. Our sofa on a Saturday evening is generally full of dogs, so I'm afraid you're going to have to. That's Dobby and this is Molly. Right, so we went to see, this looks crooked, apologies, this is, I'm never professional, you know these things. So we went to see Backrooms last night and we went to see Power Ballad this afternoon. So let's try and say what we thought of them without talking for a fortnight. So I've forgotten the name of the guys that did Bagra. I thought it was Dan Byrne or something. I think I've forgotten it, but what's new? So I know kind of the myth behind the Backrooms. I know what it is. I know it came from a creepypasta. I know that the guy that directed this is very young. He was 16 when he did the series. I've only seen one of the series of Backrooms videos. I do intend to watch the rest. And I think he's 19 now, which I was really surprised about when he's done this movie. So, basic premise follows a... Now, don't think I'm going to tell you actors and actresses' names, because if I could pronounce them, I would. I would have to listen to them 50 million times. The acting in this is very good, I'll say that to start with. But then the actors have never turned in a bad performance, either of them. So this guy with a bit of a problem with booze, he has separated or divorced from his wife. It's kind of at the crux of a lot of the narrative about what's going on. He is seeing a counsellor to try to sort of get to the bottom of what happened, where it all went wrong, blah, blah, blah. And he works in a big furniture shop. One of those like really naff ones with the crap adverts where people dress up, and he's dressed up like a pirate, and another guy, what was he dressed up like? The other guy was dressed as something ridiculous as well. I can't remember.
Was it?
Yeah, a cowboy.
Like
his big rival kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he inadvertently finds himself able to, there's a word for it that gamers use, which I've forgotten, meaning that he gets into the Backrooms. The Backrooms are a series of just a load of, how much do you say? Anybody that's going to watch this has probably seen this movie already. I'm probably talking to people who don't need to know any of this, but if you're watching and you don't know what the Backrooms is, it's basically loads of like empty rooms that all are a bit weird. Things don't really make sense. The doors are on ceilings, there's half doors, there's stairs that go nowhere. Everything looks familiar, but not familiar. It's all kind of weird, and it's endless. There's no end to it. And this guy sets about trying to map it out, and he seems to be going a little bit cuckoo. He goes to see his therapist, tells her, she doesn't believe him. I'm not giving you the whole story, don't worry. And he goes back to try and get proof. So that's where I'll leave it. And most of this movie is set in the Backrooms themselves. So we went to see this, and we usually go to the cinema and it's usually empty. I would say normally there's less than 10 people in, which is ridiculous. Today Power Ballad we saw today on our own.
Private viewing.
Yep, so this was packed with teenagers, absolutely packed. Now, on one hand, it's nice to see the cinema full. On the other hand, if you are interested in watching this movie, I honestly do not think a packed cinema full of people that are making a racket is the right environment to see this in. We had a girl behind us that wouldn't shut her face. She talked more of the movie than there was dialogue in the movie. The whole fucking way through. She was kicking my son's friend's chair. If I had known that, we would have got her kicked out, but he didn't tell us till after. Darren had someone 2 seats up from him that was pulling a bloody straw in and out the drink, crinkling the drink, taking the lid off the drink. I've never heard so much obnoxious noise in all my life. Darren was scared to say to him, can you fucking wind your neck in?
I was concerned to say, fuck you doing? I guess you don't have to be retarded.
Well, you didn't have to say that word.
Well, that's how I thought. You can use that word.
You know that scene from Extras? This is what Darren was thinking. There's a scene in the comedy show that Ricky Gervais did called Extras, and he's in a restaurant. Someone at another table is creating a bit of a ruckus. He turns around, kicks off, shouldn't be allowed kids in here, blah, 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 and the poor lad's got Down syndrome. Darren was thinking, if I fucking kick off and there's something wrong with this kid, because he was so obnoxious that he honestly thought there might be something
Every
wrong
single time he had a drink, he had to take the plastic lid off, slide the straw up, put the straw back in and slurp it off the top, so then slide the straw back through the plastic lid, making a sound, then creak the lid back on and sat crunching the cup. And every time he had a drink, he had to go through the same procedure. So presumably he was a bit.
Darren has rage issues.
Oh, God.
So anyway, the point of telling you that is, I think that I know it definitely disrupted Darren's enjoyment of the film, because he spent the first half hour absolutely seething. The girl behind me was doing my fucking head in. She wouldn't shut her face. I think watched in a very dark environment, on your own, at home, with no noise, no distraction, very, very dark, it would be very creepy. Is it scary? No. Is it creepy in places? Yes. There is some imagery that's really interesting that I liked. I think there are going to be either follow-up movies or maybe a series, which would be interesting. I would say it's a very interesting movie if you like to watch a lot of films. And you want to watch something that's a little bit different from what you've seen before, I would say go for it. I would say if you don't watch a lot of movies and you don't go to the cinema that often, this is maybe one you could possibly wait for on streaming, because I think it will appeal to a particular kind of movie fan. I think you have to be a real fan of movies or a teenager that's obsessed with creepypasta. I normally... Dobby's doing her snappy snaps. In case you think she's trying to bite his face, she's not. This is a sign of affection that she does. We call it snappy snaps. So what I was going to say was, I am not a fan of very abstract filmmaking or things that could be put across as pretentious. I'm not a big fan of this at all. I use those words because, Molly, honestly, stop. I was watching Sin's Corner review of this afternoon, and she did find it was very abstract and in places pretentious. I normally, that turns me completely off a film. I think I was still really invested in this because I had no fucking idea what was going on. I know the concept of the back rooms. I have my own kind of idea. Is it spoiler to say what we... Right, I'll leave it to the end and you can decide to switch off. But I enjoyed it. I would say it's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. I may... that may go up a bit with a rewatch in a different environment, and maybe if... You really need to mull this one over in your head. There's so much to it. There's so much to unpack. There was one scene in it which was so effective for me. It was like a chase scene near the end. If you've seen it, you'll know what I mean. But I found that really creepy because I am terrified of heights. And there's a scene where she's going up a staircase. You two are just completely distracted in the situation. Anyway, this staircase that she goes up, if you've seen it, you'll know the scene. And it was like, oh my God, it was horrible. And just putting yourself in her shoes really creeped me out. The whole dinner scene is totally creepy. Are you attention stealing, Dobby?
She said, you said dinner, I like dinner, she says.
So, yeah, I would say I definitely enjoyed it. It's not like anything you'd have seen before. I can understand why some people might not enjoy it. It is a bit abstract. There's Isaac coming downstairs, but he comes in now. You don't really 100% know what's happening. You can have your hypothesis. The director himself hasn't given away because he says there's lots of pieces of the puzzle that haven't been revealed yet.
Yeah, but that keeps people talking online, doesn't it? More advertising, so don't say a word.
I think he definitely has. He said he doesn't believe in like making out to people, that he has an idea of what's happening. If that's not the case, he has a very concrete idea of what he's trying to show. And not all the clues have been given yet for us to know in full what is going on. So 3.5 out of 5 from me. What about you?
3.
Well, do you want to say anything more than that?
I think you've covered most, apart from what our own views of what the film is.
Right, so I'll end this. Now, if you've seen it, if you've not seen it and you don't want to know anything about what we think was going on, switch off now, because that's it for this one. I will do a separate review for the other one, so we're not going on too long. So, I'm not going to go into loads of detail because, to be quite honest, I've no fucking idea what's going on. So to me, the backrooms has to be some kind of symbolism of people's minds. There has to be some tie with the MRI machine. And maybe the reason Mark Duplass's character went in and got back out absolutely fine is that they worked with MRI, which is something that maps the brain. Obviously the big pirate version of what was his name? Craig? I've forgotten his name. The main character, the big pirate version of him was symbolic of all the bad things about him, was his anger, was his lack of accountability, was just his issues that he didn't want to admit were issues. And eventually they consumed him as a person. He allowed these to grow so big and so out of control that they eventually were the end of them. They eventually consumed him. Why did he eat him? Because the backroom replicates everything. It only does what it sees, and it saw him eating, you know, when it's taking big lumps out of your man's stomach. It's just replicating something it saw, so it eats him. Why did it not kill him till that point and it went for everyone else? Actually, someone else's hypothesis on that was because he is an extension of the furniture guy whose name I wish I could remember, but I can't. So he could never find fault in himself. He could only ever find the fault everywhere else. Everything was always everybody else's fault. He could never see any fault in himself. So that's why he did not attack his own character, because he saw him as faultless. Why did he then go on to attack it? I don't know. This was someone else's hypothesis, but it has to be something to do with people's minds and about misremembering things, obviously. And then someone had mentioned there being a tie to AI. Every time AI replicates something, it gets worse every time. It gets less like the thing it's meant to be like. So in all, I've no fucking idea. I thought that the mother of the therapist had potentially found the backrooms years ago, and that's why she was crazy and people thought she was mad, but she wasn't. And that's why she taped all her windows up and didn't want to allow the kid out the window because she was scared of what was out there. I've no idea, but that's all I got from it. I know there's lots more to get from it, but it was one of those things, it was so weird, and the imagery with the faces and things that weren't quite right was just so messed up. It was, you couldn't stop watching it and looking at it. It's like, what the fuck is going on with this? What's going on with her face? And it just intrigued me. I want to know more. And like I say, I will definitely rewatch it when it comes to streaming in my own house, in the dark, with no distractions. And if I've got a little bit more, it's one of those things, when we get more information, I think it'll open up a whole new appreciation of certain parts of it that right now don't entirely make a lot of sense. But I do intend to watch the video series, and people have said that explains things a lot more. What about you?
I've got a completely different view on it. I think everything was in her head, as in the psychologist from being a kid, and everything was in her imagination from being locked away with the mother as a hermit, because it seemed like the building they were in was in the same
area,
business park,
right,
as the furniture place, and the view from the window was that the big pirate sign that was up, which then adds to is the big pirate just the imagination, her looking through the window and seeing the pirate on the sign, and the room was just an extension of imagination, wondering what's in the next room, because she wasn't allowed out of the room according to her mother.
The rooms are an extension. The rooms are like creations of everyone, not just her.
I don't think they existed. I just think the whole thing is in her head.
Oh God, no. I don't think that at all, because that would be really frustrating.
Yeah.
That would mean the whole concept of the backrooms was nothing.
Yeah, it was just her imagination.
No, you can tell us what you think, but no, that wouldn't be. I definitely think the backrooms is a place, and it is constructed of everybody's ideas and memories of certain places and certain people's. It's like that line that they say in it, trying to draw a dog for someone that's never seen a dog, you wouldn't get it just right. So trying to describe what a room or a person looks like, doing it over and over and over again each time, it's going to be ever so slightly skewed from what it should be. I definitely think you get absorbed into the back rooms and you look fucked up like that. I don't know why. I do think they exist. I don't think it's in a person's mind. I think the whole concept is constructed of what's inside people's minds, but I don't know. You can let us know what you think below. I would imagine there will be lots of live streams talking about this. Like with Obsession, I was actually going to do one, and then I thought, you know what, no, because I bet everyone did do one. But it was interesting. I definitely liked it more than I thought I would, because I wasn't hearing the best reports from some people, but I still have to see Passenger. I've heard one good report from that, but I have a tendency to sometimes like things that everyone else thinks is shite. So we're going to go and do our review of Power Ballads separate, so this isn't too long. It's already too long. But you've heard our thoughts. 3 out of 5 from Darren, 3.5 out of 5 from me. Like I say, it might change when we both have a rewatch because the environment wasn't perfect for that kind of movie. But definitely interesting. Very interested to see what else he does.
I missed a lot of information with that guy. Like when it showed the workmen that were demolishing the building this child and her mad mother were staying in, was one of the workmen the black guy?
Yeah, but why?
I couldn't spot that.
Why would that make any sense?
Because I was trying to pull it together.
But if
why these certain people were in.
Because, like you said already, if the furniture store was in full view of her from her house, and if she saw that advert on the TV and him dressed as a pirate,
I don't know. That's just
him being a workman would kind of be irrelevant because he doesn't need to be. If she saw the advert, I don't get why
it showed them demolishing that house and then bizarrely smashing up lumps of concrete on a piece of concrete with sledgehammer. It's like, why are builders doing that?
Yeah, there'll be more to that, but I think we both enjoyed it to a degree. I think I liked it a bit more than Darren, but he was struggling with
torture, fucking torture,
with noisy people.
That's not even mentioning the.
Oh, don't start again, for fuck's sake, no.
That hacking crunch people do when they do not give a shit who's around them. And like a hamster chasing around with a bag of popcorn.
Uncourteous people. Is it discourteous? Is it discourteous?
Yeah,
people in the cinema is a pet peeve, and I think it is for any cinema goer that goes regularly. Darren bought popcorn and he couldn't get into it. And the film was really quiet, so there's a warning if you're going to see it. He didn't eat the popcorn because he didn't want to create a ruckus for other people, but some people just do not give a damn.
Oh, they were shaking it up and down inside of me. Oh, I want to chase that bit at the bottom, so I'll just shake my popcorn up and down. It's like, the fuck are you doing?
Well, right, that'll do us. So, yeah. I would say, yep, if you're a movie fan, definitely go check it out. If you're a casual movie fan, perhaps wait for streaming because it is very different. It is quite abstract. And you could, in places, be forgiven for saying it could be construed as pretentious because it felt quite highbrow to me. But there was enough creepy imagery and mystery for me and like questions to keep me involved to want to know what the hell's going on. So, and that's unusual for me because the minute I get abstract or pretentious, my brain goes, nah, not interested. But I didn't have that reaction to this, which is unusual. So yeah, what did you think? If you want to tell us below what you thought was going on, or if you think we're both talking out our arse, fire away. Obviously, if you're going to put anything, please put the word spoilers at the top and what you think below so someone doesn't inadvertently come across it. But yeah, I shall speak to you soon with a review of Power Ballads that we went to see this afternoon. Over and out from Lisa Lewis.